Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And if you seen me earlier today, I know you probably seen me about twice already. I've been on Blowing's Tears. I was on with Die Hard Knicks. And now here we go. We got the game preview for the Knicks versus Hawks tonight. As the Knicks will look to make it 3 in a row, ladies and gentlemen. And what I consider an important game, all of these games right now, I consider to be important for the Knicks because everybody's so jumbled up. So we're going to get in there and start breaking it down. But before we do that, we're going to get into some trade talk. Talk about some of these trade rumors that's out there. Not necessarily about the New York Knicks, but about a bunch of teams. In particular, Andre Drummond is on the trade block. Let's get over here and let's talk about it, man. And I want to get some people's perspective on Andre Drummond, Blake Griffin, and whoever else might be on the trade block. You understand what I'm saying? And then we'll get and break down this Knicks versus Hawks and all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and let's get with it. Andy, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
What up? What up to the chat? What up to the panel? What up to you, Sim? Happy to be on with you guys. And as you said, bro, I think we should even start before Andre Drummond. There's a report that Kevin Knox might be on the trading block. You know, as far as me, I wouldn't touch him. I value players number, from 1 till 15 on the roster. And, he's one of those players that doesn't basically get burned. He's out of the rotation, just like Frank. But he's so young, so perspective, that you should keep a player like that as far as, I'm concerned. If you're going to trade him for a better player and that can help us right now, I think you should consider it. But if you're going to just trade him for a role player or a guy that might lose his spot in the rotation, then it's basically a no-brainer and you stay up with Knox and then Frank. You got to remember that these guys, both Frank and Knox, are still younger than Emmanuel Quickley, than Obi Toppin, and basically the rest of the guys. So, I don't see a move just to clear the roster spot, cutting those two guys loose. So, that's just my thought on the Knox rumor.
On the Knox rumor. Divine, what do you think about it? Kevin Knox on the trade deadline, maybe even Frank Ntilikina on the trade block. What do you think about it?
I agree with Andy. If you're going to move him for something that's going to benefit us, I agree with Andy 100%. Then you move him, but just to move him, just to be moving him, just to just to get something in return that might be equal or a little bit better. I don't know if I would do it. Knox. I like Knox game. I think he's a good young man. I think he got a potential to be a real good forward in his league. But I guess the Knicks might see something that we don't see. You know what I mean? So that's and if they move, my understanding, because it's a business, it's sports, but it's also a business. You know what I mean? And things like that happen. I'm hoping that they don't move him unless he get moved for somebody like a Beal or somebody that's going to really, really move the needle for us. Yeah, man, but I hope not. But if they do it, I understand it. Like I said, it's the business of sports, and if the Knicks going to do something to elevate their roster, then I understand it very well, man. And I love Knox. I thought Knox was going to have a better season than a lot of cats this year for the Knicks. So, but if they do trade him, man, we hope the best for him. He goes somewhere and he get to flourish and blossom, man, and turn into the player that we thought he could be in New York. So, but like I said, it's a business, so ain't too much we can do about it.
Yeah. Knox by himself, Steph, what do you think is he worth anything on the market? Knox by himself, second round pick, second
round pick. I'm not sure if a team would be willing to give up a first round pick for him just yet. I think if he was playing better, if he was in the rotation, maybe. But just by himself, I'm not sure the Knicks can get a first round pick right now. But maybe putting him together with somebody else, maybe. I think with this front office, just like Andy and Divine said, this front office is smarter. Like, I don't think they would mind trading Knox or Divine. I'm not Divine. We love you, Divine. We're not trading you.
Let me prove myself. That's a good one.
They're not going to do it for nothing. Like, they know what these guys are worth, and so they're not going to just trade them just to just to trade him. But in general, Sam, just in terms of the entire trade talk, I think if the Knicks make a move, they're making a move thinking of the big picture, thinking of this year and the following years. I don't think they're going to make a move just for this year. I think they're going to make, if it's a big move, a little move, maybe, like Derrick Rose. If he signs, he resigns, he resigns. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But a big move is going to be because of now. So I don't think whether we're closer to the playoff or not close to the playoff is going to make a difference. They're going to make a move based on the bigger picture, no matter where we are in the standings. At least that's my opinion.
Okay. All right. Kev? Let's
Welcome back, Kev.
Sorry, I failed in my mission.
yeah, I know. And I got some pyramids. I got some pyramids waiting for you. I got some pyramids waiting for you.
I believe it.
But
hey, salute to the chat. Salute to all my brothers and sisters here on the panel.
yeah.
I agree totally with Steph, Andy, and Divine. And here's how I break this down. If you're going to get if you're going to get a big time player that will get us to the Eastern Conference Finals this year and have a chance to win the NBA Finals, then you do it. If not, stand pat. All
That's
right.
a high bar.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason why I agree with Andy about Knox and Ntilikina. It's got to be something that's somewhat major that will help us. I mean, I say the Eastern Conference Finals and everything. I just want that player that's going to come in to replace those guys to get us closer to what we're doing. So that's how I look at it like that. Other than that, no, I just want to. I really want us to. I mean, Leon Rose and all of them have to do their job. I mean, they did their job with getting us Derrick Rose. So there, so there you go. And that was a big, and you're going to see it again tonight, how that's going to be a big, boost for us. But I don't just want them to do a move just to do a move. That's what past teams did, did for us in the past. So I just want them to examine everything, do your job, examine everything. And if it's going to, in my personal opinion, if it's going to move us, up in the standings and get us to like the semifinals, Eastern Conference Finals, I'm with it.
Okay. All right. Joe, talk to me about how you feel about Andre Drummond.
I would take Andre Drummond. Absolutely.
So you would trade for Andre Drummond right now?
I would trade for Andre Drummond right now because I look at Andre Drummond as a guy that can get us 20. He can get 20 and 20 in this team in his sleep because we don't have good shooting.
Mm-hmm.
We need a beast in there for offensive rebounds. And Mitch has been doing okay at it, but I think Drummond would be better. So for a team that doesn't shoot well, I think Drummond would feast with us.
I agree with you. I definitely agree. Andre Drummond would take this team up a notch. That's without a doubt. Yeah. But where I disagree is that
the price for me is it's all about how much, because they say, I think what we said, like second round pick or something's meant to get it done. But then I'm seeing things that apparently Toronto are offering Kyle Lowry straight up for Drummond. So I don't know where the price range is.
Well, see, the thing is this. The Cleveland Cavaliers are going to be smart. They're not just going to throw him out there to the first team to come by. They're going to try to create a bidding war, right? So that they can get a first-round pick and they can get some young assets for Andre Drummond. That's what they're going to try to do, especially since, what did they trade? A few second-round picks for him or something like that when they traded for him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right?
They traded John Henson, I think it was Dion Knight, and a second-round pick. So they literally traded nothing to get him.
Right. So,
like, and the two guys that they traded to get him aren't in the league, and then they got a second-round pick.
Right. So, they're going to be trying to make a profit, so to speak. Right. I mean, that's the only smart thing to do. And I feel like the price that you probably have to pay for him, for me, I'm trying to save our trade capital for a serious move. And I'm not saying Andre Drummond isn't serious, right? Because he is serious and he would definitely make this team better. Not opposed to Andre Drummond at all. I just want to save our trade capital for, like Steph said, a move that's going to impact now and the future. The only thing I'm doing is smaller moves, right? Smaller moves. That's what I'm doing. If I'm not getting Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal right now, there's only one other guy that I'm really looking at that I say I want to go pursue. This is me, and that's Terrence Ross, because I think he fits what we do and the way that we want to play, and he would be an upgrade offensively in that starting lineup over Reggie Bullock, and he can still score the basketball. He averages 15 points a game. He can score from, obviously he can score from 2. He can knock it down from 3. He's got that dog mentality. You can then take Reggie Bullock and put him in that second lineup. Now you beef up the defense in that second lineup, and then you got to figure out, what do I do with Burks, right? But I would really, really like to go get Terrence Ross, because I feel like he would. He adds a lot to this team, and then of course you get another backup center, because Mitch being out, and then you rock with it to the end of the year. And with Terrence Ross, he makes $15 million. Guess what? You got $15 million in cap space where you can absorb his contract. Right? So now you're not even talking about giving up more young players. You're talking about maybe, a second round pick or something like that. Or maybe they do want Kevin Knox. I do. If they're looking at moving Kevin Knox anyway, okay, I'll do it. And then maybe, like we were talking earlier, Tony, maybe we bring back a Mo Bamba with it, and we knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, right? You get a wingman, a dynamic wing guy that can get you some buckets, and you get a backup center. What do you think, Tony? Should the Knicks, would that be something, if you were the Knicks, you would say, I'm going to pursue this?
Yeah. That would be my first option, because it takes care of 2 needs at once. But I have to go on record and say I'm not opposed to Andre Drummond. Let me start with Drummond. I think Drummond, bringing him here, it would have to be with the consensus that he's gonna come back for another 2 years at a reasonable price. Him being from Mount Vernon, I don't see that being far-fetched. So it is an option that I think could be short-term and long-term. And he's a problem. Like, he can literally compete against any team in the league. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like, this team, he can't compete against this team, or he can't compete. You know what I mean? We're not waiting to see what he could do. We know what he could do, and he could do it league-wide. So I think that's a legit move. But what we were talking about earlier with Ross and Mo Bamba tandem coming, I think that covers 2 needs. It's younger guys, or at least one younger guy. I think if Drummond comes, that automatically puts Mitch to the bench. I think we get Mo Bamba. It's a equal competition now still, so. And that seems to have been working. So Ross and Mo Bamba would be my first choice. I love that. But again, I'm not opposed to Drummond.
Yeah, and speaking of Terrence Ross, I said earlier, not on this show, but on a previous show, that Ross's contract ends in 2022. I was wrong. It ends in 2023. This season, he makes $13.5 million. So it fits right into that $15 million that the Knicks have available. Next season, he makes $12.5 million, and then the season after that, he makes $11.5 million. So his salary goes down each year, $1 million each year, and he's 30 years old. Right, so he'd be, it'd be him, Derrick Rose, and Taj Gibson, who are 30 years old on the team. That's something that I think is doable for the Knicks, adds to your team, and helps you really really make that playoff push if they're looking to do anything at all. And I don't even know if the Orlando Magic are looking to make a move or trade any players. But if I'm the Knicks and I think that I need to add a wing player in that manner, he's one that I would pick out, and I'd call him up and say, hey, what do you want to do for Terrence Ross? We like Terrence Ross. What
What's
do you
his
want to do?
shooting like, though? What's his shooting percentage, Sam?
I think he's shooting about 33% from three and 40-something% from overall. I think he's somewhere
he's
around
a streaky
there.
shooter, though.
He is a streaky shooter. Kev?
Yeah, I heard you this morning. Yes, I was totally giddy when you said Terrence Ross, and I'll give you another player that I would like to see too. That's just like Terrence Ross, out from Denver, Willie Barton. He's another dude that that I think could fill that need as well. They both those
like
guys.
Willie Barton.
Yeah. Both those guys, they look just alike and everything, and give you that defensive intensity as well. So he's another guy that I would like. To see as well. So that's all I had to say. But I was totally giddy when you said Terrence Ross. I love this game.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Will Barton is. I'm just looking at Denver is a good team. They're probably not trying to shake it up in that manner unless they're adding something that takes them over the top. Where Orlando, they've been kind of treading in that 8-9 spot every year. And so far this season, they're down towards the bottom of the conference. They might be looking to say, hey, let's flip this thing over and restart. And that's where you're going to get players from. Yeah. And his shooting numbers, when you talk about Terrence Ross, I'm going to get some exact numbers for you right now. When you look at Terrence Ross, again, he's 30 years old. He just turned 30 couple days ago. And this season, he is shooting, just 40% from the field. And he's shooting 33% from the three-point line. He's usually shooting around 35% from the three-point line. He's had years. His lowest shooting year was 32%. His highest shooting year was 39%. Most times he's shooting around 37, 38% from the three-point line. You would hope that he gets it back up this season as well. And he shoots like half of his shots come at the three-point line. And when you compare that to Reggie Bullock. Do you think he's
more consistent?
Go ahead.
Do you think he's more consistent than Burks?
Yes. I think yes. Okay. He's been a guy that scores the ball throughout his career, right? He's been a scorer. Right now he's playing that 6-man role for Orlando, coming off the bench. But when you look at his career, he's always been a guy that scored the basketball. He's averaged, he's had 3 seasons where he's averaged below 10 points. 2 of those seasons, he averaged 9.8 and 9.9. Other than that, he's been 10, 12, 11, 8, 15, 15, 15. So he's a guy that can score the basketball, and, he's a good defender as well. So to me, those are some low, like, I don't want to say, those are some players like that, maybe even a Will Barton, guys that are gettable but can still come in and provide something for you. Because the Zach LaVines and Bradley Beals are probably not going to be available to you at this year's trade deadline.
But hey, Godfather Rose can, he can work some magic. Him and
what do you guys think about that Rozier deal? That boy was balling out last night against the San Antonio Spurs.
So Terry Rozier,
that nice contract there, $18 million.
Yeah, he's got a nice contract. I don't know if they're going to look to move him though. I know that they got LaMelo.
You don't think?
Right, but
Graham.
If Rozier or Graham is willing to come off the bench and LaMelo is starting, then why would you move it? Just let them do what they do.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Just let them do what they do.
Them last night, boy.
So, I guess we will. We'll see what happens on this Andre Drummond front, man. It changes things. If he goes to Toronto, it might change things a little bit. It might change things a little bit when you're looking at the Eastern Conference. Because right now Toronto is they're in the 8th seed, just behind us. They're 12 and 15. Remember, though, they started off the season bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Now they've
The
climbed
first
back
win was
into it.
against us, I think. I
Yeah,
think their first
I think
second
so.
win was against us.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Right? So they've climbed back into it. They're in the 8th seed. And, they added Andre Drummond. They can say, yeah, we're boosting ourselves to get right back up there to the 4th seed. 4th seed right now is
Right.
Indiana at 14 and 13. So, they that's a move that they might really try to pursue. And then if they're moving Kyle Lowry would end up in Cleveland. He might get waived if he goes to Cleveland. Not waived, but bought out. He may not want to stay there, and they may not want to keep him.
Right.
Or we can jump in and just take Lowry with add something to the trade.
Do a 3-team. Do a
Hey.
3-team.
Yeah.
Do a 3-team.
Okay, so let me ask this. Let me ask this of the panel. Do you think? No, you never mind. Never mind. I'm not even going to ask it. I'm not even going to ask it.
Well,
I was going
go
to
ahead,
ask.
go
Do you think? No, because I can see the gas face as soon you coming soon. I can see it coming. What I was gonna ask. Do you? No, never mind. Never mind.
Go ahead,
It's not happening.
Listen,
It's not
you
happening.
knew that we
Okay.
wouldn't trade for Ntilikina unless it's going to take us to a championship. So
Okay.
if you could say that, you could say this.
What they do to you over there in Dallas, man? What happened over there?
Because I got to thinking when I was going to ask it, and then I got to thinking of the question. It's like, oh no, heck no, I can't ask.
I'm
I
like,
think Lowry is better than Alfred Payton. That was going to be the.
Oh yeah, no
Of
doubt.
course he's better than Alfred Payton.
Exactly. See, there you go. See, exactly. Exactly.
I thought you was hanging out with Fort Vegas or something.
Exactly. The response I see Sim having, that's exactly the thing I didn't want.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
Moving on.
if they were able to pull but do you think if Cleveland traded Andre Drummond to Toronto for Kyle Lowry, would Kyle Lowry want to stay in Cleveland
No.
for the remainder of this
No.
season?
No.
And
Heck
And
no.
Sam, the Cavs have a backcourt already in play for future
Right.
to come. So they would look for a third team just to dump Lowry and get, some kind of future assets. So they would take a pick from us to get Lowry off.
Right.
And we're the perfect team because we have the most salary cap available.
But
so we could,
That'd
But
be
do you want to give
monstrous.
up a first rounder for Lowry?
That's what I'm saying.
No,
Especially he's
not
gonna be-
this year. That's not.
Especially he's going to be a
Because
free
his
agent,
age. That's the only reason.
and he's going to be a free
Right.
agent
Right.
this summer. I mean, I mean, they probably would. They probably would be looking to get a third team involved and try to move Kyle Lowry to like a Clippers, who are looking for a point guard or something like that. If they could find a way to swing, I
they're
don't know
not
how
going
the
to get
Clippers.
anything from the Clippers, though, Sim.
Right, exactly. I don't know how the Clippers would do it.
They're strapped with picks, so they're not going to be able to give
that's
anything
true. That's true.
to the Cavs that they want. So
Right. Hey, I mean,
I would
love
consider
to
it
have.
if it was
You
if
already
it would
know.
be for like a second.
I mean, listen, you already know Kyle Lowry is on my list this summer. He's on my list. I would love to have Kyle Lowry as my starting point guard, and then you got Derrick Rose coming off the bench.
What?
Yeah.
And you got quickly, and then you got
We
quickly.
almost ready
Like
at the fifth?
your guard rotation, your point guard rotation would be, one of the toughest rotations in the league. You know what I mean? That would be tough.
Kyle Lowry and Reggie Bullock.
And
That
then
Reggie
listen,
Bullock
if you
Kyle
bring in
Lowry
a
defense
Kyle
would be
Lowry, if you have Kyle Lowry as your starting point guard instead of Alfred Payton, I guess you don't have to get one of those wings because you got a guy who can score in the clutch too. With your point guard spot. So now you can just keep Reggie Bullock there. And that, I mean, you talk about, that the unit would be tough defensively plus tough offensively.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, he can match
instead
the
of it being-
bravado of just about any point guard in the league. And he's 34 years old. He probably got, another 2 years left to play.
2 years left.
I mean,
And Reggie Bullock with that 3-point ball too. Man,
that'd be some
don't get
moves,
me all
man.
excited.
That'd be some moves. We'll see what happens at this trade deadline, but I would love to have Kyle
And
Lowry.
when is the trade deadline? When
March
is the trade
25th.
deadline?
March 25th.
Okay.
Yeah. And I see
Or
some people say
Superfan
I'd
Knicks.
rather. I see some people say I'd rather draft the point guard and this and that.
You can draft him.
You can
No,
still
No
draft
worry,
the
bro.
point
You can
guard
draft
though.
him.
Yeah,
can
but
still
we're
You can still draft the
past that.
point guard. You can still draft the point guard.
We got him already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
You said we got who?
We already got him already, Manuel Quickly.
Maybe.
Nah,
I mean,
he's more of a
he might be more of your combo guard than just your straight up point guard. You know, they might be looking at a taller, so they might look at getting a point guard that's 6'5", 6'6". So then him and Quickly can go back and forth being that point guard, shooting guard role. You know what I'm saying? But maybe your guy that's 6'5", he's more of your facilitator and distributor, while Quickly is more of your point guard that's going to score the rock.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think they're gonna move that Derrick Rose. I think that Quickly and Derrick Rose handle will be together for a couple of years. I don't think they're moving
heck
that.
yeah. Oh, yes.
I don't think they're messing that up.
Yes.
I think that's
And I
gonna
don't
be the
think
thing.
Quickly minds either. I don't think Quickly
But
minds.
he actually playing a point. He actually playing the point guard. Derrick Rose got Derrick playing the two.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah,
they both,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
like you said, they combo guards and they interchangeable. So yeah,
Right.
that's dope, man.
Right, they're combo guards, so they can do whatever that's out there on the floor, man. So I'm looking to see what the Knicks might do still at the deadline. If they stay pat, cool. I'm okay. I'm okay if they stay pat.
Right.
You know, I have no
Right.
issues with that at
Because
all.
they did the because they did the main thing with addressing having that component with Quickly with that second unit.
Yeah.
That second unit has to
that
buy
thing's
points
fire,
and everything.
bro.
And
That center position just becomes more of an issue closer to the trade deadline. Are they going to stay pat, or are they going to look to upgrade it with Mitch being out for a while?
Yeah. So
well, here's
Listen,
my thing with
can I-
that. Go ahead, Andy. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, can I hop on this Mitch injury? I'm surprised that it takes so many weeks off with a bone fracture. I don't know if you guys follow, probably not, because this is a pure European sport. In speedway, they ride motorcycles and oval round whatever, right? Races. Those guys get crashed. And they, for example, they fracture their the shoulder, right? They go to England, they're back on the track like 2 weeks later. They do some kind of laser operation.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, and those motorcycles are like fast motorcycles. It's not like something, this is like more of a dirt kind of thing. We really need your bones to be fully healed and stuff. They just laser, weld them or whatever, and you are available to ride a motorcycle. So I'm surprised when they were like 6 to 8 weeks. I'm like, bro, he jammed his finger, probably, chipped a bone. It's not like an open, bone fracture, whatever.
Right.
I'm like, just send him to England for those, laser welding things. It's gonna be back in like a week.
It's not like what happened with Patrick Ewing years ago when he fell when Andrew Lang fell on his hand and everything, and he literally broke his wrist.
Yeah, he crushed it, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah. This is just a
Mitch
fracture.
Robinson do
Or
everything.
that,
That
Sean
guy do everything with his
kind of
hand, though.
bone break or whatever, Gordon Hayward stuff, that was
Right.
looking bad. But, this kind of bruise, I'm like, just send them to England, weld them back in a week.
well, maybe they back in a week. I don't know. Is it even legal in the US? I guess if you're in England,
Yeah,
you just
it's
go
a
do it.
regular procedure, Sin.
Oh, okay.
And I'm surprised. I understand these guys because they live out of it. Probably maybe it's going to be affecting him like in 20 years from now, right? So he has, I don't know, maybe a steel plate or whatever there. But bro, they're riding motorcycles on dirt tracks, so that's not some kind of easy thing to do. And their bike like broken hip or whatever. 2 weeks later, he's on the motorcycle. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
So,
don't know, man.
playing
Maybe-
basketball,
but
damn.
the only thing I can think of is that they want to give they give us, they say 4 to 6 weeks, and if it's earlier, then
yeah, it's going to be better, right?
It's earlier, so they just give you that amount of time so that that's what your expectations are.
Yeah. Also, I'm surprised when he's from Louisiana. Just put some Robotoaster on it, and go out there.
Right.
Right.
Ninja Andy
Yeah.
again. Ninja Andy
Right,
again.
right.
Yeah.
All right, so we play the Hawks tonight. The Hawks, by the way, are looking to move John Collins as well. He's another guy that's on the trading block as well as Blake Griffin. I have no interest in Blake Griffin whatsoever. I've seen some people say, yeah, I would get Blake Griffin to do such and such. I have no interest in Blake Griffin, none whatsoever. So, I don't even think people should be bringing him up. What's he going to do? Just, be on the bench and play in front of Obi now? You know what I'm saying? I think, this is a perfect spot for Obi to be there on the floor, where he is. No need for Blake Griffin whatsoever. But we play the Hawks tonight. Of course, they got Trae Young at their guard spot, and he's one of those guys that can go for 40 if he has to. He's tough to guard. The Knicks did a decent job last game, but he was still getting his off. Early thoughts on the game, Andy, tonight versus the Hawks.
Well, early thoughts. I think we can get a W. Contain only Trae Young, and I think the rest of their team basically can't beat us. I will be afraid of Danilo Gallinari because we showed problems of, stretch fours that can shoot the ball from deep. We had Kelly Olynyk on the menu. We had, even more players before Kelly, killing us. Basically, because, we mentioned him in the pregame, as not as a big threat, but he came up big for them with clutch shots and really bad, points versus us. So I'm more scared about that. That could be actually an advantage that Mitch is not playing because, when we had Mitch on the court, he was staying under the basket and Randall had to run around, the 3-point line and guard those guys. Now I think, with Nerlens out, I think Randall can handle those, bigger bruisers inside and Noel can, step out on the 3-point line a little bit better, at least as I see it, how it's going to work out and what Tibbs is going to, do with the tactics on the defensive schemes we're going to see. But I think this is definitely one of those winnable games. And we got to remember that if we win this game versus Atlanta, it's like we won 2 games because they're going to lose one and we're going to go one ahead, right?
Right.
So, winning these games with opponents close to us in the standings are really, really important.
Yeah, definitely. Divine, what's your thoughts on this game?
And 15-point blowout, brother. Ain't
Okay.
Listen, y'all gotta start checking the eye test. Knicks is putting teams on notice. Them boy defense is legit. If we can do it to Russell Westbrook, Trae Young can get it too. Knicks by 15 tonight. Knicks real talk. That's all I got.
If the Knicks win by 15, that'll be their 3rd game in a row that they won by double digits.
Man. Number 2
3rd
defense
game in a row they won by double digits.
They going hard.
Yeah. Steph?
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on which Knicks team show up. If it's the Knicks team of late, I think we will win. I think that our defense has been really good. Atlanta is up and down. Also, is DeAndre Hunter back? I think he may still. Yeah, he's still out. I'm a little concerned about Capella without Mitch there. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I still say if we play the way we've been playing, this is the thing. Our second team gives us an advantage. If we down, they put us back in the game. If we up, they extend the lead. So you could say in terms of scorers, is Randall, then the second team. Then everybody else falls in behind that. So I'll give us the win today.
Yeah.
Giving up 116 too. They're giving up 116 a game too. So
and we're scoring more with RJ struggling.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't have to count on him that much.
Right.
Josh, wherever you at, we're trying to put so much pressure on my boy. He don't have to be the second leading scorer on this team for us to be successful. We could give him the chance to grow and have his ups and downs.
Yeah. The last time we played the Hawks, we beat them 113 to 108. Julius Randle almost had a quadruple double, actually. He had 28 points, 17 rebounds, 9 assists, but he also had 7 turnovers. RJ Barrett scored 26 points and 11 rebounds that game. Elfrid Payton had 14 points and 5 assists. And Emmanuel Quickly had 16 points in that game. And Thibodeau went with a kind of a short lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 8 guys played in that game. That was back when we had a lot of injuries, right? 8 guys played. For the Hawks, Trae Young scored 31. He had 31 points and 14 assists. Trae Young had DeAndre Hunter had 23 points and 8 rebounds. He may not be playing. John Collins had 18 points and 8 rebounds. Cam Reddish had 10 points. You had Kevin Huerter. He had 9 points. They didn't have much of anyone else do anything else, but now they got Danilo Gallinari back, so that could change the way that they look a little bit and what we do coaching-wise. But this is a team that they're not good defensively, and we should be able to score against them. And I think that we should be able to we should be able to have a lot of success. As long I don't want to try to play up tempo with them. The second unit, maybe D Rose and them guys. I like to see them guys play up tempo. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I just want to point it out. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I think I read a report that Bogdanovic, the one that just signed with Atlanta, he already wants out.
He wants out.
Yeah.
What did he sign for?
Really
20
fast.
mil? He signed for 20 mil?
No, he signed
17, 18.
like 75 for 4, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Oh, it's a
Around 80
4-year
million
deal?
4-year deal, yeah. So
I take it.
Dang.
That's well under 20.
You said it's 75 million for 4
I'm
years?
going to check it up. I'm going to check it up right now, Sam. But I was shocked when I saw it. I was like, damn, he already signed and he's like 5 weeks in.
Because he's the type of player you can use on this team. As far as a 3-point sniper, a guy that can score from the. You can use a guy like Bogdanovic. Where'd you read that from? That he's already ready to get out of Atlanta.
I saw it on Twitter. Yeah, I saw it on Twitter from one of their reporters, from one of the Atlanta papers.
Yeah, so he's $18 million a year. He's on the books until 2024. That season, the 2023-2024 season, is a player option. So, I mean, he would definitely be someone to look into, man. Without a doubt, I at the very least I would consider it. Because he's the kind of wing that you need as long as he can do it defensively. We'll see. Looking at tonight's game, numbers behind the game, the Hawks, they score 112.8 points per game. The Knicks are scoring 103.4 points per game, which is actually an uptick for the New York Knicks. That's what's crazy because they've scored a few points over the last couple of games. The Knicks are averaging 47 rebounds. The Hawks are about 46. The Knicks are at 21 assists. The Hawks are at 25 assists per game. Both teams average about 6.6, 6.7 steals, about 5 blocks, about 13 turnovers per game. Both teams shoot 45% from the field, 35% from 3. In those aspects, they're pretty even. Points in the paint, they're both around 47 points in the paint. They're both around 14 second chance points. And the Atlanta Hawks average 10 fast break points while the Knicks are averaging 7. And the Knicks actually hold their opponents to 10 fast break points per game. Just looking that up the other night. So a team like the Hawks, they might, if they don't turn the ball over, they might be able to hold them down to, 5 fast break points or something like that. Trae Young leads the Hawks in points and assists, while Julius Randle leads the Knicks in points, assists, and rebounds. Clint Capella leads them in rebounds at 13.9 per game. He also leads them in blocks at 2.2 blocks per game, while Nerlens Noel leads us in blocks at just about 2 blocks per game. All right. Now, I know Steph was, kind of worried about Clint Capella going up against Nerlens Noel. He is much bigger, and you've seen, if you were watching in that versus the Washington Wizards, like Nerlens Noel was basically getting beasted by Lopez. and he could be a tough guy to deal with down there. So I'm concerned about that too, Steph. I'm concerned about them going up against Clint Capella. Looking at the injury report, of course, for the Knicks, Mitch Robinson is out. Frank Ntilikina, he still has the COVID-19 protocol. And you don't have to really worry about Jared Harper. For the Hawks, Chris Dunn is out. Tony Snell's day-to-day, questionable for tonight. Rajon Rondo, he's out. So he won't be playing tonight. So we will see what it looks like. And if we're able to, string together and put together a third win in a row and move up in the standings. Anything particular? I know, Steph, you said you were worried about, the big man play. Anything else that you're worried about, concerns you about this game?
Trae Young.
Of course, Trae Young. Of course, Trae Young. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Trae Young. What about Gallinari?
No. But Collins, yes.
John Collins. Yeah.
I was gonna say you guys all been on point so far. Like with all the points I was gonna make. I'm worried about the big man matchup all across the board. Capella, Collins, and not so much. It's more so because Mitch is out.
Right.
I think we've had depth at that position, and Randall's gonna have to probably play some small ball 5, which isn't gonna be to our advantage, I think, in this particular game with those athletes they got. So Noel's, stay on the floor and play smart, and Taj. I'm not really worried about Taj, but he may have to get some extended minutes. So hopefully he's prepared for that. The rest of the team on Atlanta, I'm not too concerned with. I think we've played Trae Young very well over the years, honestly. And he's allowed to have like a 20-something point game, and we could still beat them. But if those bigs go off against ours, I think that's that's going to be difficult to recover from.
Right. The only guy on their bench that's really producing, right, is Gallinari. He had the last game he played, their last game, they lost to the Indiana Pacers. He had 20 points. He was 7 for 14 from the field, 4 for 8 from the three-point line. He had 20 points and 7 rebounds. Other than that, no one on the bench really did much. But their starting unit did all the scoring, did everything else. Trae Young against Indiana had 15 points, 14 assists. Kevin Huerter had 10 points, 10 assists. Clint Capella had 24 points and 10 rebounds. John Collins had 18 points and 9 rebounds. Cam Reddish had 18 points. Right? So these guys, their starting unit can, they're going to do it all. And then, of course, we have to worry about Gallinari, off the bench. I think we should be able to neutralize Danilo Gallinari. You know what I mean? On the bench.
Not if Obi's on him.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Not if Obi's on him. We might struggle a little bit there. Yeah. We'll see. Go ahead, Kev.
I think.
Yeah, what I was going to say was I got to give some props a little bit to Noel a little bit because he's been active on the defensive end.
Absolutely.
So I'm not really going to really worry about him, all that much. Because he's been putting in and as a matter of fact, I know this is going on a limb, but I think he's a little bit more active than Mitch is at times, with the way he, just his activity as far as blocking shots, getting rebounds, causing turnovers. I'm really liking Noel's activity and everything, and I think RJ is going to have a really good bounce back game because he's going up against Cam Reddish, who was on his team and everything. So at Duke, so I think he's going to have I think he'll break out of his slump, tonight and everything. And all of us keep worried about Trae Young. I think Elfrid Payton's going to, take it to Trae Young as well. So as much as we have to worry about Trae Young, they got to worry about Elfrid Payton because he's got the height and everything to and I just need him to finish around the basket. That's all I need him to do. Make his layups and everything.
The thing about Trae Young, though, to me, that's a little bit different than some of these other guards, like the Damian Lillards and all them guys, is he is very, very crafty.
Yeah,
very slick with the dribble. He is so good coming off of those screens and the way he can shoot the floater, the way he sees the floor. He is a tough guard because of the way that he scores the basketball. And the things that he does with the ball. So it's not like he's just straight up, I'm just going to shoot it, or I'm just going to go run into the basket, fly into the basket. He's very, very slick, and it makes him really tough to guard. If I'm the Knicks, I'm gonna pressure on full court, and I may even throw, a little half court trap at him to get the ball out of his hands and try to make somebody else do some things out there.
This is when you miss my boy Frank out there.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Because see, Kev doesn't do it right with Frank. Kev, every guard in the NBA is basically bigger than Trae, right?
Yeah.
You just gotta throw a really long guard on him, and then Frank comes in, bro. It's not like you gotta throw in Frank.
We knew that was coming.
We love you, Frank. At least I love you.
Frank's not even. He's not even with the team.
Yeah,
he's not even with the team.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, absolutely.
He ain't with the team.
But yeah, I think RJ is going to have a good game, and I think Noel is going to have a good game as well. Yeah. But and I'm just honestly waiting for that bench to come in because I know that bench is coming. I can't wait to see Obi Toppin as well. Since the arrival of Rose, he has really went out of his way to get Obi Toppin going, and that's what I like and everything. So now all the quote unquote Knicks fans calling Obi a bust can.
Well, he still got a lot to prove, though. He still got a lot to prove.
I understand, but you got the eye test is telling you when Rivers was in there, he wasn't getting him the ball.
Yeah, so that means that right. So that means the eye test is telling me because where he's finding them so far, he's had one post up. Right, he's had one post up move where he scored.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
But what I'm saying, the eye test is telling me is that he's finding him cutting to the basket or catching him with alley-oops. It's not telling me that Obi is just straight up. Yeah, I'm just dogging it out. I'm gonna take you off the dribble and just bomb. So we're waiting for that. He'll get there. Okay. I'm just saying. Yeah. That's what it's telling me.
Obi going for 15 tonight. And
okay,
then down in the,
I hope
he's
so.
going 15 tonight.
We need him to.
And then in Orlando, he's going to go for 20. Then we're going to kill all that noise. That's what we're going to do. All right. Okay. He's going to bring that Dame Fly energy back to us, man.
I see our brother Gilmo's shaking his head. What you got to say, Gilmo?
Go ahead.
The over-exuberance, man. It's just, I'm not saying that he can't do it. I would love Obi to have those games, but, we do this a lot of times, man. I still remember MBK preview. OKC, OKC, bro, we gonna score. You gonna beat them by 30, blah. And you looking up Amadou Diallo and all these dudes just killing us. We're in the fourth quarter, like, this can't be happening. So I'm just saying, look, Trae Young, he's an annoying player. He has a free throw draw rate of 58.3%, which is stupid. Which means basically you can't breathe on him. And because we're on the coincidental list, they're gonna give him calls tonight. So. Got to be Elfrid Payton has to be very careful. Bullock has to be very careful. They're going to try to probably control the tempo. They're going to play a lot of pick and pop, get out to John Collins, get it out to, and also Cam Reddish is also playing a lot of pick and roll, more pick and roll than he did last year. So again, I'm not saying it's easy. We were down by 14 last game and we came back. So again, they are offensively pulling. I think Kevin Huerter outside his last two games, he was putting up numbers of like 20-something here, 20-something there. He did his thing against, I think it was the Warriors they played. No, sorry. Either Warriors or Mavs. I can't remember. And he was scoring at ease. So I'm not saying that we can't beat this team, but I don't look past him. Also, to point Noza well, he has filled in admirably. But when you actually look at the his three-point defense, right? So there's a negative differential between his defensive field goal percentage and the field goal percentage of that player outside of when they played Noza well. Mitchell Robinson's differential was like 8%. like -8, which is amazing, which means I think it was like something like if when he defended the 3-point line, that person shot 26%. When he wasn't doing that, they shot like 35% or whatever, -8. I just screwed up the math. So again, Mitchell Robinson on that 3-point defense was actually fairly solid. And then when you take into the fact that many times he had to wait and stay because Elfrid Payne didn't get around the pick quick enough.
Right.
There are probably a lot more shots that Mitch Robinson could have done, could have defended a lot better if Elfrid Payne got around the pick. So Mitch Robinson's, again, Mitch Robinson's a guy that we have a lot of qualms with. We want to see him score more, but there are a lot of little nuances, right? I mean, I talked about that. I know his blocks are down, but again, his minutes are up, 28 minutes. A lot of things that we're missing with that help. And one big thing, especially, is offensive rebounding. The boy I think he ranks 5th in the league in offensive rebounding, like 97 rebounds. He ranks like 7th in offensive rebounding percentage. And given the fact that we don't score a lot, we need those second chance points. Like the Knicks right now, we lead. No, we don't lead. Excuse me. We rank like top 8 to 10 in like put back points, put back plays. So think about this. We don't score a lot. We don't have these dynamic scorers who could, we build up we have one of the slowest paces. So we literally just save him for the perfect shot a lot of times. And we don't have a guy to basically help clean up the glass. And we live off of cleaning off the glass, right? And Mitch Robinson is a big reason why we do that. So I'm just saying, once we see teams that can defensively rebound well, that can box us out, we might be in some trouble without Mitch. So I don't know. The Hawks could be a scary game today, but I'm not on the bandwagon of we're gonna win by 30 because I've heard it all before.
No.
I know you're not saying. I'm only joking,
but the thing about it is, since Rose has been here, it just seems like our intensity has kind of up the notch a little bit, and I think it's by his presence.
But Rose is in the second unit, right? And the thing with Rose, and
it's the third game, Kev.
I understand but again, the eye test is is telling. Like, I think we should have won that Miami game. I think we should have won that Miami game that that he played, but it didn't happen. But to see us, I just see something different. That's all I'm saying. I just see something different.
Hey, real quick. First of all, our coach is 50 times better than their coach. Tom Thibodeau compared to their coach is like me playing against my son. Experience is the best teacher. You cannot handle what I'm giving you. You can't. That's for sure. And I think they don't play no defense. We play the number 2 best defense in the association. I guarantee you tonight, them cats is soft. They soft. You know what I mean? Okay. You going up against Julius Randle going to get his 20 tonight. RJ going to get his tonight because they don't play no defense. So that's the reason why I'm picking Knicks by 15, because they coming into the Garden. The Knicks is hot. They're not. They are a fragile team defensively. And we coming to play defensively. The Knicks going to come with their lunch pail tonight. And that second unit, I don't think they got nobody can handle them cats, man. And they're a young team. Think about what I'm saying. They young. Even Trae Young is not a veteran. He young. Cam Reddish young. Hurd is young. John Collins is young. We got a nice mix of young talent and experienced guys like Todd Gibson, Reggie Bullock, Derrick Rose. Them guys been there. They know how to get in these situations and play these type of games. I just think that this is going to be a no match for us tonight. I just think the Knicks going to get them.
Hey, I hope so. They can score the basketball. That's what always, scares me. They can score the basketball. Now, we've been able to hold teams down that can score the basketball, but we've also seen those nights where we give up a lot of backdoor cuts and 3-point baskets, and we've seen those nights on the defensive end as well. It hasn't happened since that one Chicago game. Like, we really got smacked against Chicago.
Right.
The first game against Chicago, we really got smacked. We didn't get smacked. It was a close game, but defensively, we didn't look good. They were getting all kinds of backdoor cuts and things like that. It hasn't happened since then. Right. So hopefully, they can maintain it tonight. They're going to look a little bit different than they did before. They got a key guy out in DeAndre Hunter, so he's not going to be there.
Gilmore.
But then they picked up, Gallinari is back. So it's going to be a little bit different team than we played before. I think, for me, a big key is going to be to try to you're not going to stop Trae Young. Just try to disrupt him a little bit. Throw a trap at him. Get that trap. Get the ball out of his hands, make other people have to do something. That's one thing I'd like to see get done. The second unit we've got to win. Our second unit has to win. They don't have a great second unit. We should have a better second unit. We've got to outscore them in the second unit, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and then just come out and play the defense that we know how to play, and we should be okay.
I mean, Gilmo, do you notice anything different with our second unit compared to, before Rose came here?
No, I mean, Derrick Rose, because if you look at the Heat game, I mean, first of all, he pushes the pace. And he looks for players on the break, right? That's something that Alfred Payne just doesn't do adequately.
Nope.
He doesn't need the screen. If you watch, what was it, the Miami Heat game?
Yeah.
I mean, they double teamed him, I think, once in the corner, and that was just because he was in the corner. But other than that, they didn't double team him again because he could split the defense. His passing is legit. And then, I mean, he does one thing that is, Chicago fans have complained about this, where he leaves his feet, he'll drive and then leave his feet and then make the dangerous pass to guys on the perimeter as he's like fading out of bounds. But again, we get through our sets a lot quickly with Derrick Rose. Again, he can attack, he can score. Guys, a lot more movement with different guys, not just Alfred Payne waiting for Julius Randle and he sets the pick and then, Derrick Rose is, but again, you're talking about a 32-year-old player, right? God forbid, I mean, the kid is broken down before, God forbid that happens. Because we had the same excitement when Burks, when he first, So again, Derrick Rose may have these off games, again, these turnovers that might appear as teams play the passing lanes a lot smarter because again, he dribble drives and leaves his feet a lot. So, but again, Obi should benefit quickly, as you've seen, he's benefiting from playing alongside Rose. Now you have two ball handlers and also allows quickly to slowly come along with his ball because he's not a great, he doesn't beat his man off the dribble one-on-one a lot, but having a guy like Derrick Rose as an option definitely keeps the defense a little bit more honest. So
yeah,
definitely helps out.
Man, we'll see. One second, Andy, I'm gonna come right to you. I think Rose, obviously he's gonna have some games where he's off.
Right.
The things that he does, I think the league already knows the things that he does. Tom Thibodeau, those guys, they know the things that he does. I don't think there's gonna be anything new. That or new mistakes that you see with Derrick Rose, besides him having some off nights and not scoring the basketball. The thing that I'm looking to see is when we go down the stretch with a team.
Okay.
And if he's out there, how he now performs against, because we see what he can do against second units, how he now performs against, starters in the clutch. Right. And of course, we know what Derrick Rose has done throughout the years, and he's still got speed. He's not as fast. He's still got speed. He plays under more control. He's not going to the rim with reckless abandon. He's a little bit smarter in that aspect, but still, his knees are still his knees and what they are. And when we come down the stretch, the question is going to be, and you got, some really tough defensive guards on him, how does it work with Derrick Rose then? Right. And we haven't seen that. And how's it gonna work with Derrick Rose and Julius Randle and RJ Barrett if he's playing down the stretch? So that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing, how they look coming down the stretch.
Yeah.
A lot more potential assists with Derrick Rose. Like when he's in the game, like in that Heat game, there's one really good play. He broke the defense, and then he got it out to Burks, who then drove and then got it to Nose. Like, there's a lot more hot potato. Now, with a guy like Randall, I think now he's just so used to someone dumping it to him down low. I mean, he can make the pass, but it's not that hot potato game. And obviously, he hasn't played that many times, I guess, with Derrick Rose. But I wonder if they're going to – because, again, a guy like Randall, it's tough to push the pace for him because if you miss, now he has to try to get back on defense. He's such a big part of the offense. Is like you don't want to tire him out. So it actually might be tough because I was advocating for Rose to start, but playing with him and Randall's already a facilitator. It might, and you've seen them now. They're taking the ball out of Payne's hands a lot, and they put in RJ Barrett's hands to basically be the quasi guard. So I don't know if Rose, if he's ever going to see these so-called starting, unless there's some major injuries or.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to be in the start unit. I think he's going to stay right there in that second unit and then down the stretch. Probably play down the stretch, close down the stretch.
How you say it doesn't matter how you start; it matters how you finish and everything.
Yeah,
so.
I just don't see, what. I just don't see why, you would have to put him in that starting unit. Besides, people just want to see him in the starting unit, honestly.
Right.
I don't think he's, people can now say, well, he's that much of a better shooter. Actually, he has made his 3-point shots since he's been here, but, I just don't see it being that. And when he's made those, it's been off the dribble, kind of. I think maybe he made one where it was passed to him. I see him being, much better in the second unit than in the first unit, right? Because of the way he can work with quickly and Obi. And, it just makes more sense to me. Andy?
Yeah, y'all guys stealing my thunder, bro.
Oh.
I just want to piggyback on what Gilman was saying. That's exactly why we want Derrick Rose in the second unit, and you just rolled out with all my points.
Oh, okay.
And you know me, I'm not going to jump in, but yeah, just to add something. Fans that want Derrick Rose in the starting lineup need to realize that if you watch Derrick Rose now on these current Knicks, only in these 3-4 whatever games he had, he pushes the pace. Like Guillermo said, the game in the second unit is more of a hot potato. That's why the pace is faster. The guys don't need to, make up their mind. They just know that the ball needs to flow, right? And, and they take the shots that are really good. And that's why he's not, maybe he might work right in the first unit, but that's why we don't need him in the first unit, because we got RJ there and we got Julius there, which basically stop the ball at least a little bit. I'm not going to go in and, say that they're stop the ball and they're ball hoggers, right? But with Quickly, Obi, even Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks in the second unit, they just push up the ball, push the tempo, and take easy open shots.
Right.
That's why you have, other Quickly handling the ball or D Rose. If you try to mix it up, it might ruin the whole flow of the game.
Chemistry.
That's why you don't want Derrick Rose in the first unit. And, his ego is not going to take a hit playing in the second unit. He's done that. He's playing under Thibs. He's going to accept the role if it's going to bring us W's. If something goes wrong, we might, feel a shakeup coming, but I don't see that happening. And, that, like I said, that's the basic thing. That's why you don't want D-Rose in the first unit. Mm-hmm. He pushes the pace with the young guys. And RJ nor Jurios are fast-paced, players. So that's why we saw before D-Rose, we never pushed the ball. We had like 4-6 points max of fast break points. Now these guys have a steal. They run up the court and try to, play 2-on-1, 3-on-2, and whatever. Try to finish up instead of, pulling out the ball and just setting up the offense.
Right.
So that's really simple.
Yeah. And even minutes when D Rose is in there with Julius Randle, the ball is still going and everything is still flowing through Julius Randle. Because normally, Elfrid Payton plays till about, 4 minutes left in the first quarter, and then since D Rose has been here, D Rose will come in, right? The last 2 games, he'll come in, and then he'll play with those guys for a little bit. D Rose and Alec Burks maybe, or something like that. He'll play with those guys for a little bit, and still the ball is going to Julius Randle, and it's being ran through Julius Randle. So it's not going to be that much different. I'm sure they would develop a little bit more chemistry if he was in that starting lineup, but I feel like it would be a lot of the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, you would be relying on Peyton to be the guy that would have to try to push that pace in the second unit. So, I think it's good the way it is. I don't think we have to touch it. I think it's good the way it is. Let it flow and see what happens with it. You know what I'm saying? See what happens with it. I do want to say there's a guy in the chat. His name is Kevin Middleton. Kevin, all you got to do is give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Are you the same guy that I had a rivalry with in high school? That we play. You played for Rensselaer. I played for Kasaki. I just want to know. You know what I'm saying? Are you my basketball rival, Kevin Middleton, or are you a different Kevin Middleton? You know what I'm saying? Me and Kevin Middleton used to go at it in high school, and then when our college coach, the school that I was talking about earlier today, was recruiting me, they had both me and him come to one of the workouts so we can go head to head.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because they were looking at him too. He ended up going to another school.
He said, "Laugh out loud."
You know.
That sounds like a special episode.
He said that's him. He said that's him.
He said, yes, that's
Stop
me.
playing with me. Stop playing with me. This dude was a nightmare to guard because he was like 5'5" and super duper fast, like super fast. He was a nightmare to guard, man. I'm telling you.
Sam, that sound like an MBK special.
You know what I'm saying? He was a nightmare to guard.
I need to get him on the chat, man.
Yeah, calling you live. What's popping?
How's it going, gents? Hey, Sim, what position did you play growing up?
I played point guard.
There you go.
Yeah, I played point guard, man.
I don't want to be fantasy GM here, but I got to ask you guys your opinion on Bradley Beal. And what the Wizards, apparently the rumor was that they're asking for 3 first-round picks. They're asking for a young guy. They're asking for 2 flips on a draft pick. How do you guys feel about that?
You said that they're asking for 3 first-round draft picks, a young guy, and 2 flips.
A young asset, expiring contracts, and then 2 flips. So, I feel like the flips don't matter because the Knicks are going to be better than the Wizards anyway. So that's not even going to come to fruition. The 3 first-round picks, I mean, you can't give out 2 picks 2 years in a row. So the Knicks could theoretically do that and still have their first-round picks for the next 4 years.
Yep.
Because it's every
a young asset. I mean, I wanted to know what you guys thought about that.
I know I read it. I forgot where that came from. I don't know if it's Mark Berman, whoever it is, but I guess a scout said that's what the Wizards would be looking for.
Yeah, it's the going rate.
It's a lot. I guess it depends on who that young player is, right? Because the Knicks have all of that. As a matter of fact, the Knicks can give that away and still have draft picks remaining because they could give away to Dallas 2021. Yep. They could give away their 2022, and then they can give away a Dallas 2023. And, they can mix and match it in that manner, so it's like they can do that and still have draft picks available.
Right.
You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
They could give away even they could just forfeit this year too. They could do it in a way where they would have a first-round draft pick either 2022, 3, 4, and 5, or 1, 2, 3, and 4. They could still have first-round draft picks 4 years in a row and still give up 3 first-round draft picks for Beal. And then that young asset, to me, I mean, I'm not looking to get rid of anybody. I love all these guys. I don't want to get rid of Obi Toppin. But for Bradley Beal, I mean, if you could lock in a starting 5 of Mitch, Randall, RJ, Beal, and IQ long term, with Tom Thibodeau as the head coach, that's a top 4 team for the next 5 years, in my opinion. They're going to put up. They're going to give you Chicago Bulls like 2010, 2011, 2012 era results. And if the Knicks leadership feels like Bradley Beal's that guy, I mean, what's the alternative? Waiting another 3 years for Booker? By the time that happens, Booker's going to be 27 years old, which is what Beal is right now anyway.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, Bradley Beal's leading the league in scoring, and he changes everything for RJ. But you guys were talking the other day about RJ Barrett not being that guy, the number 1 option on a championship team. I love RJ Barrett. I think he's going to have a great career, but I tend to agree with you. I think he's more that number 2 or even maybe a number 3 on a championship level team. If the Knicks leadership feels like Bradley Beal is that guy and he could come in and he could be like, young Derrick Rose-esque, leader, number 1 option, right? I mean, with IQ in the backcourt and RJ at the 3 and then Randall, I mean, I think you got to do it. Otherwise, the Celtics are going to do it. The Heat are going to do it. One of these other Eastern Conference teams is going to do it, and they're going to always be better than us for the next 5 years because they did it.
Right. I mean, I think if the Washington Wizards, which I highly doubt, say that they're putting him up, he's available, he's on the block, and they said that's the asking price, I think the Knicks would enter the conversation. they try to, they would try to negotiate down, I'm sure, but I think they would enter that conversation.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
guess
you gotta.
Yeah, I guess we will.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. But I think Bradley Beal is going to be there. He's going to be there throughout this season, at least. And then if he were to shake loose, it might not be until the summer or something like that. But the Knicks got their eyes on Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal, so they're looking at them two guys. We'll see. Appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, I would do that. I would think what's his name would be coming off the bench though. We would still need a point guard. I don't know if IQ would be ready to man that position with those guys right now.
Right.
I think quickly would be in the trade because I don't see them wanting Toppin.
That's something that I'm thinking. He might be in the trade because they might want another guard.
That might be why you heard the Kevin Knox rumors today.
Yeah. Calling you live. What's popping?
How's it going, family?
How you feeling, man?
Shout out to everybody. I'm not really a caller and all that. I'm doing well, by the way. Thank you. I'm more of a spectator with all this, but I had to call in real quick because I'm hearing certain dialogue going on, and as a Knicks fan, I don't really want to backslide into what we used to do. Like we used to chicken hunt everybody. Oh, let's just trade, blah 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 blah. I don't want to hear all of that. We done did that. We tried all of that. All right, we got to be patient with these movements, man. Everybody can't be like, yo, let's jump out the window for this guy, that guy. Now, that said, the Drummond move, that would be a legitimate move for the team because it's a one-year movement. You know what I'm saying? You get that guy for less than his real value. Should, at the end of the season, I'm sure we'll make the playoffs with Drummond in the squad. There's no doubt about it. But at the end of the season, should we decide we want to move on or he wants his next contract or another team is interested, we still got the right to sign him to the most and flip him when to sign a trade for another asset should we want to do that. So I think this front office doesn't think anymore in the lines of how we used to with let's get this dude and let's not worry about the repercussions. I think they look for value, not only in return of the asset of the player, but value going forward, whether it's the player himself or what we can get in return on a flip of the player. So in my opinion, I think that that's the only legitimate thing on the table right now because it doesn't really commit us to anything significant. It ain't going to cost us anything significant. Hardly any team could take on that contract. All it would take from us is like Ntilikina, Burks, and Noel or something like that to satisfy the contract terms. But that said, that would be a real move. And as far as Atlanta, play physical, they soft, they Twinkie filling. Play hard, run them off the line, dominate the boards, beat them up, and we win.
I feel you.
That's really my 2 cents. You know what I mean? I just want to keep it a buck with y'all. Let's not fall into that well of trading for everybody under the sun. You know what I mean? Pace yourself. Look for the right trade, not every trade. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to put that out there. I appreciate you. I appreciate the channel. I appreciate the diverse opinions. It's always good to have different opinions from all sides. We should seek that as a country as well. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for taking the time to hear what I had.
Appreciate you. And, I didn't even think about it, what he was just saying about Andre Drummond, that you got the bird rights, so you can actually sign him and trade him. Or, you can sign him and then trade him like Brooklyn and like they did for KD, right? Golden State signed him and then traded him for D'Angelo Russell. I didn't even think about that, but that is a possibility. If he wasn't going to stay with you and the team that he wanted to go to, then you flip and do a sign and trade. So that's definitely something to think about too. And anything that you might decide to do here at the deadline, is ways that you can bring in your assets. As a matter of fact, it might even help you to trade for a bigger name that could come up. So you never know. You never know. Good call. That's smart. Smart thinking. Let me get to another phone call here. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Hey, how's it going, Tim?
I'm good, man. How you feeling?
Good. I was just thinking maybe instead of making a bigger trade, I was thinking of a smaller trade, maybe a Justin Holiday and trying to get Aaron Holiday also in that package. Justin can play defense. He shoots. He knows New York. Aaron was a dog in UCLA. He's just not getting the minutes in Indiana. It probably wouldn't cost much, and we could kill 2 birds with 1 stone, a good guard and a good small forward.
Oh, say that again. I missed you. I didn't hear it fully.
I was thinking that maybe we should try to get Justin Holiday from Indiana.
Oh, Justin Holiday. I don't even know. I don't know what he's doing or how much he's worth. But he was, when he was with us, I was a little bit disappointed that we let him go. To be honest with you, I thought, I know he was, he's skinny and everything, but I thought that he was a decent defender. He could knock down a three, and I like what he provided from that 3 spot. He wouldn't be a bad, he might not be a bad look. I don't know if he's the kind of. It wouldn't cost much. I don't know if he's the kind of guy that's going to be able to create a shot for you if you need it, if that's what they're looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was also thinking, what about trying to add Aaron Holiday to the deal, his brother? He's a good point guard, and Indiana just doesn't give him minutes.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things that could be on the table, looking now and going forward. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we'll see what we're doing. I kind of like the idea of Justin Holiday. I guess if you're bringing in, but is he an upgrade over Burks and Bullock, though?
I think he's a bit better upgrade over Bullock. He's shooting right now 40% from 3, if I'm not mistaken. So he's knocking the 3 down more consistent. He's a little bit taller in terms of his arm length.
Right.
I mean, it's a bit of an upgrade. It's somebody that also knows New York. You don't have to worry about them getting acclimated.
Right. Okay. All right. Hey,
depends on what they asking for.
Yeah. That's a thought. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Blessings.
All right, peace. My man Kevin Middleton says, Sim, I'm looking at these articles with us. Says Shane had 30 points and 15 rebounds.
So it is
I
him.
had 13, and he had 26. Yes, he scored 26. I was guarding him, too. He had 26. He said his big guy had 23. But I think we won. Though, Kev. If I remember that game, I think we won. I'm pretty sure we won that game.
All that counts.
You know what I'm saying? Andy.
Yeah, that's what happens. When you see me get burned.
He was a nightmare to guard. I'm telling you, man. He was quick as he just all over the place, man. Nightmare to guard.
Did he cross you over, son?
Huh?
Did he cross you over?
Nah, he didn't use a crossover. He just blew past you. He was quick, but there was one thing. Because I had my coach had one thing with Kevin. He was like, make him go left. He's gonna pull up and shoot the jumper, and that's what he did. Kev, coach, my coach had he had you. He still dropped 26, but he had you. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I was gonna say about that Justin Holiday, trade. Him and Nerlens Noel, they would fight. Who has the most toothpick legs on the team, bro? Those guys are so skinny. I remember Justin Holiday just from that, bro. He was so skinny that he might get a run for Nerlens Noel knees, bro. They were toothpicks, both of them.
But think of how much we need that, though. We need somebody to hit those shots from the outside. Because I mean, I say you start, but defense. I mean, how many?
He was good at defense.
Yeah, how many dribble drive kickouts do we have where a guy like Bullock or I mean, Burks has had some just awful games, and it's like literally if we had adequate shooting from the 3 from some of these guys, we probably would have beat some of these tougher teams that we face. So
absolutely,
absolutely. I agree.
That's not a bad look. I don't know much about Aaron Holiday, but having a guard who just gives us a different element, who's aggressive, who could shoot a little bit. I just don't know much about him. So if you guys know, please correct me. But I'm not necessarily against. But I think Indiana uses not Aaron, but Justin Holiday. I think he gets because if you look at Indiana's bench, they don't really got a bench.
No, he plays. He plays.
Yeah, he's over 20.
Played behind Brogdon, I think, most of the time.
Yeah, so he ain't. I don't think he's going to go anywhere this year.
Yeah, they can get it.
What's your guys' thoughts on Aaron Baines?
As a center, as another center, backup center.
Yeah, he's on Toronto right now, but not necessarily playing very well for them.
Yeah, that's why they would have too. I
know we don't really have a big, if you will. You know what I mean? Like a bruiser, somebody with some girth.
Right.
And I think he could fill that role. He's not the greatest defender, but he can protect the rim, and he can stretch the floor, which is another dynamic we don't have out of the big man position. Yeah. So
that's why I was a little disappointed we didn't go get Alex Len when he was waived. Because I thought that he could have helped this team out. Even if he just, even if we only used him right now, I thought he could have helped us out a little bit. He could spread the floor and shoot the three. You know, he would have just sat at the end of the bench until now. You know, but.
Hey, we still can get him when we can trade for Bradley Beal. Put him in the trade package, baby.
Right. Listen, to that point, somebody in the chat was saying something about letting the young guys develop. If Beal listen, we're not in win mode now. If Beal comes here, we would be in win mode now. And the timeline would be Beal's timeline, not the young guy's timeline.
Right.
We would figure out what's the window for us to win with Beal on this team. Who do we need to add? What would we need to do to maximize his time here? It would be based on him, not based on the young guys.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And just to add to that, I don't think we would have to rush a timeline per se, because I think just us getting into the playoffs where we haven't been, and Beal hasn't been in, or at least in a while. So I think just getting to the playoffs, it wouldn't be a rush for him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about in terms of his age, in terms of, his age.
Well, yeah. But I think he'll fit in and welcome the growth of these young guys with the opportunity for himself.
Right. We would still need to add more pieces for sure.
The superstar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jonathan JD, he said is now, thank you for the super chat, by the way. He said it's now a right time to trade for Lonzo Ball. Sprinkle him right in the starting unit. Keep the second unit intact. Maybe a worthwhile mid-tier trade. Honestly, I don't think they're right now, right at this point, I don't think they're looking at the point guard spot. I think they're probably looking at, unless a Kyle Lowry fell in your lap somehow, I don't think they're looking at the point guard spot. I think they're looking at some of these other things that we might need to try to, shore up any holes that we have going into, we're trying to go into this playoff run. Nothing major, nothing big, but unless something big falls in your lap, but we will see. I am going to head out. The game starts at 7:30 tonight. I know Legion is going to be on at 7, right?
Yes, sir.
Going on at 7 o'clock. So make sure you guys go over there and check that out. Follow along play-by-play. All right? For the Legion of the Knicks podcast show, or play-by-play, watch along. That's what you call it, right? Watch along. And we'll see what the Knicks do tonight. They can get that third in a row. Andy, you want to give us just, 30 seconds, last words, and prediction for the night, I guess.
Yeah, let's go. I think the Knicks going to grab a W today to make the streak go further. And I hope it's not going to end on ATL. So I think they're going to go further. I'm scared only about Trey and Gallo. I don't think any other player is going to hurt us that bad that we don't predict. And I think, the defense is going to take care of this game.
Okay. All right. Devon?
Yeah, man, I'm the same thing here. You know what I predicted already. I just think that I just think we on a good road, man. I think the Knicks are playing good basketball. And forget if we a playoff team, our record speed for ourselves 13-15. Right there where I predict us to be the whole season, a 500 ball club. We right there. And I just think that they don't got nothing for us. Our defense, man, we playing ball right now. And I think we just got to give our team the respect that it deserves. I know we are any given night, Atlanta can beat us tonight. I understand that, but it's not going to happen. That's what I'm saying. And the reason why he sold the Thunder, Andy, Sims told the Thunder, great mind think alike. Let me just put that out there.
There you go. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but I got the Knicks bringing it tonight, man. And for all y'all who get up in the morning, man, the morning show, Knicks Real Talk on the morning show, every basketball game that we play in the morning time, I'm on in the morning at 7:30 in the morning. Get your coffee, you get your nourishment, come check me out. It's called the morning show, Knicks Real Talk, man. But tonight, Atlanta got this. The Knicks got this.
Oh,
my bad.
You see?
Atlanta got this.
He wanted to say Atlanta was going to get waxed.
Nah, we ain't happy, y'all. That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
I'm gonna have a glass of scotch tonight if they do lose, man. I'm gonna be like, yo.
Come back on. I had to eat 2 pounds of crow.
Right. Steph?
I think the Knicks win. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, though. I think whenever we get excited about these Knicks, they come up with like a game out of nowhere, So hopefully we'll stay the course. I do think we win. I don't think it'll be a blowout. And hopefully our rotations are on tonight. That's the difference between us winning and losing, really.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. A game pops out of nowhere, and you're like, what the heck? Just to remind us, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's about time that we haven't won more than 3 straight. It's about time that we get this third one and then try to extend it, get past it. So, Kev?
Yeah, man. I look for us to, what Big Daddy Kane said, ain't no half stepping. We ain't half stepping tonight. I'm more excited with this with our bench, man. I can't wait to see Rose and Quickly in action. I'm more excited for Obi as well. And I do think all the Knicks fans that are looking to trade RJ, I think RJ is going to have a really good game tonight. So now, quiet some of these Knicks fans down. I think I'll give us a double-digit win tonight. I won't say 15. I'll probably say 10. But I think we're going to have a good game tonight.
All right.
We're going to have a really good game.
All right, Guillermo?
Yeah, man. Basically everything you guys are saying, man. Gotta come out, be composed, poised, especially against your boy Trae Young. He's probably gonna look to get some guys in foul trouble, control the tempo, given that they don't have DeAndre Hunter tonight. The Hawks are an annoying team. Got to defend the perimeter. Has to be concerted effort. So we'll see, man. I'm hoping Knicks win again. We got to be, because sometimes we play down in competition. I mean, the Wizards were up by 5 until Derrick Rose came in. I mean, the Wizards were trying to lose. Like that's so again, the Knicks is like, I'm not saying it's weird. We don't have the cachet to say we played down to any level, but it's like we'll come out and give a game where it's like, yo, we were right there with the Clippers. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if we took that type of game and put it onto all these other teams that OKC, whatever, we would destroy them. But then we come out against OKC, these letdown games. So again, it has to be proper focus. We can't just depend on 1 or 2 guys, because a lot of these games, man, Quickly is coming and saving the day. Derrick Rose is coming in. The past few games is coming and saving the day. Randall has to be a concerted effort on both defensive and offensive ends. So hopefully, I think, look, we can win it. Got to play smart. And we got to talk about the Carmelo thing, man. I heard you this morning talking about Carmelo Anthony's a superstar. So, look, we got, I know that's your man, 50 grand. But we got to talk about that, man.
What about it? Carmelo wasn't a superstar? Did you hear what I said about superstar versus all NBA?
I know.
So there you go. I know
your definition.
You got superstars. You got all NBA. No. You got superstars who they're stars in the NBA, but they're also marketable. Right? And this is me. They're also marketable. So they can sell sneakers, they can sell shirts, they're on commercials, they're this, they're that, everybody likes them. Then you got all NBA players.
Stephanie,
who are above superstars. All NBA players are above superstars.
Did you ever buy the Mellows to play ball?
Yes. I had like 3 pairs of Mellows.
Yes. I bought the Mellows. I bought the Mellows.
Oh, God.
Melo is a popular player. Melo is a super popular player. That's what I'm saying. Like Dame Lillard, and that was our discussion about Dame Lillard. Is to me, I differentiate between a superstar and an all NBA player. There's a difference there. There's only a few guys that's all NBA. There's a lot of superstars.
But did you agree with me when I said that you could put Dame Lillard on that Golden State team and they still win a championship?
I don't know. I think him and Steph Curry still play a little bit different of a game. And the chemistry that Golden State had with Steph Curry is different than the chemistry they would have with Damian Lillard. So I think there's a difference.
Steph Curry is so much more.
Maybe that first championship, but when you have Durant on there as well, I don't see a difference.
With Durant.
But also, Steph Curry literally, he was so unselfish. He allowed KD to do his thing. So even when the system dictated differently. Dame Lillard, I love Dame Lillard. I don't think he's that type of, but we'll talk about it later. But I have a different
Melo is a superstar, or he was a superstar.
So Gilmore, I'll ask you just real quick. Gilmore, I'll ask you: Is Dame Lillard a ball hog?
I wouldn't say he's a ball hog per se, but Steph Curry literally.
Like, you say he's unselfish. I
that
think
plays all the
but he's
ball.
unselfish
Draymond is running the offense, really.
There's a difference. Steph Curry's unselfish to a fault. Like, you could say that he basically lowered his star to allow KD to do his thing in those playoffs, in those finals. Like, he's just that type of player.
Yeah.
But
okay,
we'll talk about it later, Sim. I know you want to.
Melo is a sneaky star.
You got the Melo. I've never seen anybody play in the Mellows in my life. Are you kidding?
What are you talking
Let me get my
about?
closing in real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to be respectful here.
Give him a bruise up. Give him a bruise up.
First off, let me say, I think there's a small margin of error for our bigs tonight. So they're gonna have to be very efficient. We have to stay out of the penalty. No more of those quick fouls to stop a fast break instead of playing defense. Go back and play defense. You give up the layup, but we got to stay out the penalty. That has the potential to kill us. And other than that, man, I think we'll be fine. I think it's going to rely on our bigs tonight. I think our second unit, we finally got a second unit that can compete with anybody in the league.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's hope they continue to do that. And, I think we win 101-110.
Okay.
I wanted to point out this is the first time after the last win, the first time all year that we've been in the green and not in the red as far as points per game for us compared to what we're giving up.
Differential, yeah.
Yeah. So let's keep that up. Hopefully we get up above 500 and that keeps staying in the green.
Fans can't accept our success. They think it's a mirage.
And I just wanted to say, Stephanie, I've been getting. I got 3 requests for you personally for the Knicks and Bruises.
Oh,
so if you're available,
I am
Wednesday. Maybe we could set something up after the pregame.
Oh, I think Wednesday is good.
If not, we'll set it up. But I gotta let you know.
You don't want me on your show?
Kev,
Gotta earn it, Kev. You missed a few shows.
Behind me in the line, bro. You're behind me.
First of all, everybody is welcome. But
I'm messing with you,
I
man.
got personal requests from the chat that I have to oblige by.
Yeah.
I don't got many supporters and fans, but when they ask me, I gotta try to make it happen.
They don't like me, man.
There you go.
You got it. Thursday would be better, but Wednesday before 6 is good.
Okay, we'll work something up.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the panel. Yo, Blackest Time.
Blackest Time.
No doubt.
Keep doing your
Appreciate it.
thing.
And I don't even know where Chop is. I haven't seen him in an hour. I don't know where Chop is. So.
You got that nice
I
background,
haven't seen him in an hour.
Listen,
But
man.
anyway, I appreciate you guys. Get the NBK app on Wix. You can go. It's up at the top of the YouTube chat right now, so you can click on that and get the NBK app. Once you become a follower on the NBK app, you put yourself in a competition to win a Obi Toppin rookie card. I got 2 of them available to give away. So as soon as I get to 500 likes, 500 followers on there, so make sure you get on there. And as soon as I get to 15,000 subscribers right here on YouTube, I'm going to give away 2 more Obi Toppin rookie cards. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, or send it out to somebody else to hit that subscribe button. And somebody said, Greenhouse.
How about an Obi Toppin jersey? How about an Obi Toppin jersey?
Well, let me start with the rookie cards first. All right, let me start with the rookie cards, and we'll talk about the jersey thing.
Let him step his game up first.
Shoot, yeah, you know what I mean.
We gotta get back to the garden before we get
them jerseys cost a little something. They might get a bootleg jersey. You know what I mean? Shoot. I might have to do it. I don't know. But anyway, Greenhouse said if it's Cornerstone Kev, then it's got to be Superstar Sim. I'll take Superstar Sim. I'll take it.
Absolutely, man.
No doubt. We out of here, man. I appreciate
All
you
right.
guys. Big shout out to Kevin Middleton, man. Maybe we get him on the show. He'll call in and whatnot. Cause
You gotta do it special, man.
Yeah, we got to
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
gotta
was
hear
tough
him,
to
man.
deal
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
You know, yeah, big
We
shout
want to
out.
hear
Big
young
shout
Simeon
out to
Russell
him.
game.
Yeah.
We out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Be
All right.
peaceful. And as usual, spread love, ladies and
Good
gentlemen.
love. Amen.
Out of here.